Thanks to a viewer like you, I may have just hit on the best Hilton credit card strategy, and we're going to get into it. Hey, friends, Phillip here with Points of Phillip, and we're going to discuss my Hilton credit card strategy and why I literally just wasted an Amex slot getting the basic Hilton Honors card, despite the fact that I already have, well, a lot more status with Hilton. Let's get into it. But before we do, I want to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that helps me and YouTube know that what I'm doing is helpful for people like you. And in turn, by doing that, you help more people to view the content, something I really would appreciate. So thanks so much for doing that. And let's get into the real stuff. So I actually just received the Hilton Honors card. So this is a white plastic card. You can see it's very bendy. And this is a no annual fee Hilton card. And one of the interesting things about the fact of this card is, well, first of all, it doesn't really get you that much. So it's no annual fee, which means we probably shouldn't go into it with too many expectations, but it does get you at least silver elite status, which with Hilton gives you access to free water bottles. You get access to the fifth night free promotion when you're redeeming for points and a few other things. So it's at least get you in the game, but it's not really gold status is where you get free food and things like that. But so we don't get that just by holding this card. Now, what we do get with the multipliers is you get 7 times back, so 7 points per dollar by using your Hilton card on Hilton properties. And so that's actually exactly half of what the Hilton Aspire gets you. That one gets you 14 points per dollar with Hilton purchases. The Hilton Business card, which I recently killed to make space for this card, got me 12 points per dollar. So why would I kill a card that gave me 12 points per dollar and go with a card that gets me 7 points per dollar? So let's kind of get into it a little bit more. So this one gets 5 points per dollar at restaurants, at dining, restaurants and is dining, restaurant, supermarkets, and gas stations, which is interesting. So 5 times on gas. Now it is Hilton points, so that's comes with it a whole bucket of, other kind of concerns. And then you get 3 points per dollar on everything else. And so the 3 points per dollar on everything else is pretty standard across all of the Hilton cards. But so the 5 points per dollar on dining and in supermarkets, right, and gas, that seems really impressive until you realize that on the Hilton Business card, it got 5 points per dollar on everything. That is the multiplier. Now it also gets 12 points on Hilton purchases, but 5 points per dollar on every single purchase. So this card earns just as much on every single thing as this card does on just 3 things, right? And so, okay, so it doesn't get me very much status. It doesn't earn me that much compared to other Hilton cards. So why did I get this one? Let's get into it. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, I currently hold the Aspire card with Hilton. And so this one gets me diamond status and a free night benefit whenever it renews, and among a bunch of other things, which are really, really exciting for me. Now, I also had the Hilton Business card, and when I got this card, it had the 135,000 point offer, and I think I had to spend like $5,000 over the course of however many months it was. And so this card is a $195 annual fee, but you do get $240 in Hilton credits at $60 each quarter. And so, I was able to use each of the credits with this card. And it was pretty successful. However, I decided to get rid of it because, well, I have the Business Platinum card, and that one gets you $50 in Hilton credit each quarter as well. And so being able to having to use the Business Platinum card, the Hilton Business card, and then the Aspire card for anything else really kind of it put a lot of friction with the checkout process through Hilton. And so I decided to go ahead and get rid of some of that stress. So that card went away. And then I ended up actually just picking up this card. Now, my original plan was to get the Surpass card, which has actually better multipliers and it has better status. The Hilton Surpass card comes with Hilton Gold status if I didn't already have Diamond with the Aspire card. But a viewer actually commented on my last video where I discussed getting rid of the Hilton Business card and suggested that I actually try considering this. And so at the time, it had a 100,000 point offer for $2,000 in spend over 6 months, which, well, I can make that. And then it also has a $100 statement credit, so that $100 back off of my of the spend, right? And in exchange, and then I get 100,000 points. Now, 100,000 Hilton points can get me quite a lot. It can get me a free night at the Conrad with 10,000 points left over. It could get me a couple of other individual nights at other places. And so I really value those Hilton points, especially given the fact that, well, my wife and I are planning on a trip to Edinburgh next year, and we really want those Hilton points because we're going to be staying at the Caledonian in downtown Edinburgh. And so that will actually, this 100,000 points will help kind of boost that stockpile quite a bit. And so for no annual fee card that allows me to spend $2,000 to get that 100,000 point offer, plus $100 in statement credit, that really seems like a big deal. However, and another reason why I decided to go with this one instead of the Surpass is the Surpass offer. The Surpass card has come with a free night award offer as well. And so, well, it didn't at the time that I made this application. And so what I decided to do was actually just wait, and then I will get the Surpass card later, hopefully when it actually has that free night award. And so I'll be able to save that that sign up bonus offer for another day. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, Philip, you have an Aspire card. How are you getting any of these sign up bonuses? So one of the fun facts about American Express is that, well, they have kind of a tiered sign up bonus system. So with their personal cards and not less so with their business cards, but every once in a while, maybe they kind of play funny with their personal cards, with the membership reward earning cards, and then also with the Delta cards. If you get the top tier status card first, you actually can't get the sign up bonuses for any of the other ones. However, Hilton's cards currently so far are the only cards that don't have that rule, which means that I can get this Aspire card and then also get the sign-up bonus on the Hilton Honors card. And so that's what I've done. So now, basically, presumably, if they don't change that rule between now and when I get the Surpass, I'll be able to get the sign-up bonus for that as well. And so that's kind of been my strategy. However, so I have the Hilton Aspire card. I keep this for the benefits. I have this card. Once I make this $2,000 and spend for this sign-up bonus, there's no real reason to actually keep this card in my wallet. And so what I plan on doing once I get the sign-up bonus is upgrading, hopefully with an offer, to a second Aspire card. And the reason why I would want to do that is because, well, the Aspire card, each one comes with a free night award when you get the card. And so that's really helpful because I will have a free night award from owning my first Aspire. And then once I upgrade, I'll have to wait probably a month or maybe two, and then I'll have a second free night award. And so my wife and I really like to go on kind of like shorter staycations. And so, well, those two free night awards could be used to stay at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. I know I won't shut up about it, but I really do want to stay at that property because, well, it's such a huge cultural icon. And it's kind of a big deal, in fact, that it's been closed for 7 years. So it's something that I really want. So for the cost of having 2 annual fee cards, and to be fair, they're substantial, $550 each, I get those 2 free night awards. And those rooms, first of all, are $1,500 each night for the base rate. And that's assuming nothing's going on in New York, and everything's always going on in New York, right? And so this is kind of a big deal for me. But here's the thing, this Aspire card actually has a lot of other benefits. So each one will have $400 in Hilton Resort credits, $200 every 6 months. Now, my wife and I are actually going to Puerto Rico in November, and we're actually staying at the Hilton Caribe as well as another Hilton Resort close by, so we actually had to split our time at each property. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one Hilton to pay for incidentals at that. So, and then I'm going to use the other Aspire card to pay for the other one. So I'll be able to use each of that $400 in Hilton Resort credit. And well, then I have to figure the next part out, well, after January hits, and I'm sure we'll find a use for that, given the fact that you really can't walk anywhere in Orlando without seeing a Hilton Resort property, at least close to the parks. And so I'm not really too worried about that. Now, what about the airline fee credit? So the airline credit here on the Hilton Aspire is wide open. As long as there is a charge to the Aspire card from an airline, it will count. Now, it gets $50 each quarter, so each card will have $50 each quarter. So I think that if my wife and I usually have used those in the past for lounge access, we could do if we were going to, say, an airline that we don't really actually have status with, right? So if we were flying with like American Airlines and I wanted to go to the Admirals Club, pay that $75 charge with this, and it becomes a $25 charge after that credit applies. And so that's one option. Now, I could also use the option. So my last Aspire card, I actually used to buy Ascent seats on Breeze. So my wife and I were flying home from Huntsville recently, and we wanted to fly directly. And Breeze is the pretty much only supplier that does that for that route. And so we decided to go ahead and book it. So I actually booked in June with that quarter's $50 airline credit. So I booked the base tickets, and then I actually booked the upgrade in July. And then I got the $50 off in that. So one booking, I got used 2 quarters of that credit. And so you can do the same too, as long as the other price kind of makes sense as well. And so if I don't have anything like that going on, like if I'm not going to be flying for the next 6 months or so, then I can actually just kick it to the United Travel Bank and kind of book that in reserve because, well, my wife and I, we don't really fly United very often, but they do fly to a couple of our destinations. And so that value is possible to achieve or obtain, right? So having 2 Aspire cards is going to significantly, and kind of super boost our travel, right? And so that is a huge deal. And so that's kind of my strategy moving forward. And then hopefully by the time I'm able to close my next card that's on my status. So I have the Blue Business Cash Card, which will be I will have it for a year in December, and so I'll be able to close it at that time, and hopefully be able to pick up either the Surpass card or even the Marriott Business Card. Hopefully by then, because I'm actually eligible for a sign-up bonus with a Marriott card in February of next year. So we have a couple different options with hotel cards, and so that's kind of my strategy moving forward. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.